So guys, I was actually at the 99-cent store and I saw free cop cars pulling them over. Fun fact, cops do not know who's behind them at all. They say they're afraid for their life, yet they don't know their surroundings. Hey, subclass in Canada. You think it's bad in America? Man, Canada is so screwed right now. You got nothing but fascist government up there. See, people look at me weird. It's like, you should be looking at the cops weird, asking questions. Why are they talking to these people for? Because these people is parked. Oh, trust me, none of these cops like cameras at all. But thanks to Turner versus Driver, if they mess with me, you can sue them personally now. Hey, Redneck. Fun fact is, when you come out of the store and you see cops in public, you're allowed to film them. People are watching the cops. Yeah, I cannot watch them with a camera. Sad fact too, I'm the only one recording. Yeah, you gotta love this country, right? And none of them are wearing masks at all. This one cop is talking to the person for the passenger, not even wearing a mask. This one's wearing a mask, these two are not wearing a mask. So what does that tell you? Hypocrites. Recording traffic stop. I think this is traffic stop. It should be normal day activity. I love how people are like, we don't like the cops, yet you don't record them. Yeah, but here's the deal. You see the 99-cent store? I just bought something from there, and here's the deal. You can't be on private property recording the cops, okay? It told the owner of the private property tell you to leave, and 99-cent store, it's not the owner. Say the Trends, it's not the owner, okay? They cannot literally trespass me from this parking lot because it's owned by 99-cent store, Citi Trends, and Firestone's the one that leased it. So they cannot even tell me to leave, even if 99-cent store tell me to leave. You gotta understand, private property is different. You can't record cops on private property. It's called Turner versus Driver, actually. Yeah, America. They keep on looking at me too. It's like, you realize that the 99-cent store, Citi Trends, and Firestone, I know for a fact they all have cameras. Remember, because it's on private property, that doesn't mean make it you cannot record cops on private property. Well, here's the deal, though. Yeah, but here's the deal. Go live, because 99-cent store, Citi Trends, and Firestone are leasing it until they get until all three complain at once. They cannot tell me to leave. The owner of this whole place have to tell me to leave, and plus don't mention there's stores over there too that share this parking lot. So they literally have every single one of the store managers or the managers in charge right now have to come out here and ask me to leave all at once. This is a shared parking lot. Oh no, it is true, because this is a shared parking lot. I love how people are watching cops, yet they're not filming them. If you watch them and something happens, you're worried against the cops. No, see, that's the thing. This is a business open to the public. When your business open up to the public, you're forfeit some of your rights. Yeah, but again, this whole place is leased out by different corporations. I'm saying, if they tell me to leave, 99-cent store tell me to leave, they only can tell me to leave inside in front of their store. I still could go to Citi Trends if I wanted to, because Citi Trends not going to tell me to leave. This is a shared parking lot. A shared parking lot means different businesses. So until you have the owner of this whole stores and parking lot tell me to leave, or all of them tell me to leave all at once, cops cannot do nothing. Remember, there's private property not open to the public. There's private/public property open to the public. Then public property is government owned. This is private/public right now, because you have an agreement with the stores to go in there and shop. See, now they're arresting her. I'm not for sure what for though. No, see, that's the thing though. They'll probably pull over or something. I just came out, saw the cops there. I'm here to see if they try and abuse her. They did pat her down because, here's the deal. They need to call a female officer to pat her down. It'd be sexual harassment if they don't. Okay, he's going his pockets, which is perfectly legal to do, but he's not allowed to even touch her, like pat her down. Handcuffed, yes. I hear something like, do you have any the same vehicle you should have? By the way, if you actually can tell, I'm more than 10 feet away. Would they go away? There have to be a female officer available, and there will be one available all times. You cannot pat down a woman unless you're a woman officer. Same thing with a male. It's considered sexual harassment. That's why they did pat her down. If I wasn't here, they will pat her down. Trust me, Brian, police department don't care about the law. I know females that got patted down by Brian cops, and they literally touched them and like really filled them up. Okay, they have to be a female officer at all times. So, oh, I always record the cops. I'm from here, and they're racist as fuck. Trust me, they are.
You good?
Yeah, what's your name and badge number?
Today.
Huh?
I see you look like you're bored today.
It's actually a nice day for Texas.
So what?
It's a nice day for Texas.
It is a nice day for Texas, I agree.
Wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
It can definitely change in a heartbeat.
Oh, it could be hot tomorrow, snow tomorrow. Well, you too. And he was okay. Car number 6233 and car number 6259, just for the record. Yeah, they were professionals, but I love how people are watching them, but yet they're not going to record the cops. I know for a fact they all got cell phones. And they're probably in this vehicle. It's like, just walk to your vehicle. You know what I mean? It's not a crime scene or nothing. Okay, you're allowed to get in your vehicle right next to a cop and go. Actually, here's the deal. This is actually a shared parking lot between Firestone, 99 cent store, and City Trends, and other businesses over there. Since it's a shared parking lot, every single one of them have to sign a piece of paper. I don't want him here. By the way, I just bought something from 99 cent store, so technically, legally, I am actually a customer. I haven't left the parking lot yet, so I'm a customer. So try and get them to trespass me, because I will go to corporate and complain. Oh yeah, and car number 6246. And I'm going to leave when they leave or whatever. I'm still going to be live, guys. Because last time I recorded, cop here, that actually followed me. I'm going to be live until I'm out of here. You never know what's going to happen. But in fact, they didn't bring her around. They probably did in back of the vehicle or whatever. Nope, they didn't hear no You have the right to remain silent during saying. Actually, all of them have to, since it's a shared parking lot. Shared parking lot means not one single person owns this. I go to apartment complex. Somebody say, I don't want you here that live in an apartment, but I have a friend that lives there. They only can trust. If City Trend say, I want him here, and 99 Cent Store say, I don't want him here, then 99 Cent Store cannot trespass me from the whole parking lot because it's a shared parking lot. It's different because it's actually owned by different people, by the way. They lease it. They rent it. It's rented by different people. It's called a shared parking lot. Shared parking lot are different from a private business owned by one parking lot. For instance, I'm going to give you a sample, okay? I'm about to go HEB. Bill's is right there. And there's a Boot Barn, Dollar Tree, and an eyeglasses place. If Dollar Tree wants me to leave this whole parking lot, they can't. Because I'm allowed to go to HEB. I'm allowed to go to Bell still. You gotta understand. Different stores are leasing this parking lot. This parking lot is shared. I could park by HEB and go to Dollar Tree way over there if I wanted to. Redneck, you don't get it. It's leased by different stores. They cannot just trespass me from the whole parking lot because they want to. That's not how it works. They could trespass me from inside the store and outside the store on the sidewalk, yes, but not the whole parking lot. Again, different parking lot. This whole parking lot is leased by different businesses. Okay, there's a difference. Now, McDonald's parking lot, the McDonald's parking lot right there is actually owned by McDonald's. So if they want me to leave the parking lot, they can. Actually, 99 Cent Store don't own that parking lot. Again, they're leasing it, they're renting it. City Trends don't own that parking lot. They're renting it. They don't own that parking lot. Remember, stores in Texas, most of them don't own the store. They rent from the store. So that means they don't own the parking lot. And if they don't own the parking lot, then they cannot tell you to leave the shared parking lot. It's shared between people. It's like I live in an apartment complex. Each apartment is owned by different people. We all share the parking lot. So if somebody parks in my space, I cannot tell them to leave because it's a shared parking lot. I may park in that space all the time, but it's a shared parking lot. Yes, if that will never happen though, because this is Texas and there will be such a headache. Yes, if the owner of the whole property say that store can tell people to leave and not to stay here, then yes, but they didn't do that though. And Turner versus Jobber says I'm not to record cops on their official act. That was actually a state Supreme Court ruling, so that actually goes over the owner of the store, because if they don't like me to record, then well, too bad. I'm allowed to record. Turner versus Jobber. No, they cannot trespass me because that's a shared parking lot. Again, they pay rent to that store. They could Okay, here's the deal. They could trespass anybody from their store they want, not the parking lot, because it's a shared parking lot. Shared. the owner of the whole property have to trespass me, or they have to literally have the individuals who are actually store managers or any managers of those businesses to come out, every single one, and tell me individually they don't want me there. And it'd be hard to do because some of those businesses are closed today since it's Saturday. Actually, you cannot break the law, but yes, if it's a mini mall, you can go there. If one store owner don't want you there, they can say nothing because, again, they don't own the property. Whoever owned the property have to tell you to leave, or if every single store manager or manager there tell me to leave, then I have to leave. Because remember, it's called a shared park lot. They may rent the building, but again, it's a shared park lot. For instance, HEB and Dollar Tree. If Dollar Tree say, I don't want you in this park lot, too bad. HEB rents the store. That means this whole park lot is shared park lot from every single business. They could trespass me from inside the store and outside the store on the sidewalk, yes, but not in the park lot. They have to let one of the stores to the owner of this whole store, whole park lot on this land, have to tell one of the stores to give them permission to trespass me. And they're not going to do that because they're not going to waste their time. And again, you got to understand, this is different from personal private property. This private property is open to the public. Okay? You got to understand, when you open your business up to the public, you give up some of your rights. I'm allowed to go to any private business I want that have a park lot open and go into a store if they're open to the public. Yes, they could ask me to leave the store, but not the park lot. And again, HEB, Dollar Tree don't own this park lot. Who owns the park lot is all of them combined. It's called a shared park lot. When it comes to a shared park lot, they cannot just tell you to leave because they want you out of there. Exactly. They could trespass you from the store, but not the park lot because it's a shared park lot. Now, if it was one business owning a park lot like McDonald's, because McDonald's actually own their whole store and the park lot, because McDonald's corporate owns the land, by the way. So yes, they could trespass me from there. But this is a park lot, strip center park lot, meaning it's owned by different places. Now, if I go to a mall, they will have a person at the mall. Now, the person at the mall can trespass me from every single store since it's their property. But if I go to a mall, I could get trespassed from a store, say GameStop at the mall. They could trespass me from GameStop. They cannot just trespass me from the whole mall. Same thing as the parking lot. The cops are not going to try to push it because I already made some of them famous on YouTube. I literally have a cop who say, you're allowed to record, but I was literally on public sidewalk the whole time. You gotta understand, a park lot is different if it's owned by a corporation, because this parking lot is owned by a whole corporation, but HEB leased this building. Daughtry leased that building. That means they have to share the parking lot. Remember, you have to obey the law even if you're on private property. And I was obeying the law. Turner versus Driver says I'm allowed to record. So anyways, I gotta get going. I'm kind of late on a few things. So I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Redneck, if you don't like me recording, I suggest you go to Congress and you try to get the First Amendment thrown out. Oh, wait a minute, you can't, because Congress can make no law. And if you don't like me recording, I suggest you move to China, where the government control everything, including the media there. And go look over there. Yeah, the owner of the whole park lot, this whole land can trespass me, but if each person come out here that's a manager or whatever, have to be manager, store manager, something high, come out here and tell the cops they don't want me here, then they could trespass me from the whole park lot. But here's the deal. You don't see it because they're splitting way over here. It's actually a public college. Blaine's a public college. So technically, this whole park lot is considered public property now, because they got Blaine a public college here. So if they try to trespass me, they can't, because there's a public college here. Yeah, because remember Eric Brain, they got trespassed from every store, and there was a law enforcement, like sheriff there or whatever. It's considered the public now. You gotta understand, when you actually lease your building to a public entity, say sheriff or something, where it's open to the public, then you give up your rights. There have been like post offices that are on private property, but once they lease the building, it's a post office, it's open to the public 24/7. That's whole property, the whole park lot is considered public property. You gotta understand that. It depends who leases it to. It all depends who leases it. Now, for instance, I rent from an apartment complex, right? I cannot tell you to leave the whole apartment complex. I go tell you to leave my porch attached to my apartment, yes. I cannot tell you to leave the sidewalk right next to my apartment complex. It's a private sidewalk, but it's not owned by me. It's owned by the whole apartment complex. You gotta understand that. Same thing as the stores. Think about this like this is an apartment complex. You own that. You could tell me not to be in front on the sidewalk or the porch, in front of your apartment complex, but if there's a sidewalk running right by the apartment complex, then you cannot tell me to leave. You have to have the manager of the apartment complex to tell me to leave. Yeah, that was a claim, but trust me, I talked to cops that literally admit that even if there's trespassing signs, we cannot do nothing, because in Texas, we have special trespassing signs, and it's a different trespassing signs. It will say that if a cop asks you to leave, you have to leave. That's a special trespassing signs, but the thing by that trespassing signs, it don't count if you actually rent from the apartment complex. Those trespassing signs are usually on pools and pool skates, you know what I mean? Because people pool hop all the time in Texas. Cited penal code for what? Yeah, here's the deal. They have to give HB authority to act. They're not going to do that, okay? What they do is they set up this HB payment and that's it. This is a shared parking lot. Even if it's HEB have agreement with the owner of this whole land to they could trespass me from anyone here, then I could go to Dollar Tree, call them up, say, hey, can I go to the property? And they'd be like, yes. Then it's pointless because you're not going to have them trespassing from the whole parking lot because it will interfere with Dollar Tree. And again, cops cannot just trespass you from private parking lot because they want to. They have to have the owner's permission to do so. The owner. Or the employee, and have to be like the store manager, the manager in charge of the store to trespass me from the store, not from the parking lot. If it's a shared parking lot. HEB don't have the authority to act like the owner of this whole parking lot because it's a shared parking lot. Remember, shared parking lot is different. For instance, if somebody come to if I lived in a house and somebody goes to my park on my property and it's owned by me, or if I'm renting a house and it's only attached to the house, then yes, I could tell them to leave because I may rent there, but it's considered my property. And yes, in Texas, they have to ask you to leave. They can just criminally trespass you unless you refuse to leave. Remember, different states have different laws on trespassing. Most trespassing laws are universal for the state because the owner of the property have to tell you to leave the property. The owner. Now, if security was here and a security was working for whoever owns the whole property, yes, they could tell me to leave. But if security was working just for HEB, they can't tell me to leave because I seen security working for Walmart, and Walmart shared their parking lot with other places, so security can't even say nothing. Remember, a shared parking lot means you cannot trespass somebody from a shared parking lot. Again, this is a shared parking lot. Different businesses rent from here. That means they have to share their parking lot because this is owned by one whole corporation now. You gotta understand that. A shared parking lot is different from the store itself. And again, this is a shared parking lot. That should say anything about shared parking lot, because if I was trespassed from HEB, and I know people be trespassed from the store, from different stores, but here's the deal. This is a shared parking lot. So if I was trespassed from HEB, right, that means I'm trespassed from the store, and on the property of the store, which is a sidewalk, there's a little road that runs past HEB that goes to Marshall's. This is not owned by HEB, okay? This parking lot is actually owned by the owner of this property. HEB don't own this property. yes, that's inside a store or outside a store if there's a sidewalk. And again, I'm in front of Dollar Tree, but yet they don't own this park lot. Green Eyes don't own this park lot. Sally don't own this park lot. They could trespass from me from inside the store, but not own a park lot open to the public. This whole park lot is open to the public. I'm allowed to park anywhere I want and go. For instance, I park by Dollar Tree and I go to HEB. Same park lot. And I do that because I like to park away from all this hectic people, because there's wrecks all the time. I mean, this park lot is shared with HEB. For instance, if this lot goes out, do HEB just call a person to replace the slot? No. They call the person who they're renting from to replace the slots. Because the slots are not owned by HEB, it's owned by the person who they're renting from. And if something happens in the park lot, they have to call up the owner of the park lot to fix it. So if there's a hole in this park lot, a real big gaping hole, HEB do not pay somebody to fix it. They call the owner of the park lot and they fix it, because they're renting from these people. Again, it's a shared park lot. We're talking about a shared park lot here, okay? We're not talking about private business that own the park lot. We're talking about a shared park lot here. For instance, say if I own Green Eyes, right? Say I own this store, and HEB say, I go to HEB and they say, I should call, hey, I want him to trespass from HEB. They have to ask me to leave. And if I leave, I walk to my store and go in there. They can just arrest me from trespassing because I left HEB. Okay? As saying I own that store. They cannot trespass through me from this whole park lot if they wanted to. That's not how it works. This park lot is actually vast and it's big, and I'm rented by multiple people. Remember, that means inside the store and around the store if there's a sidewalk attached to the store. We're talking about a shared park lot here. This park lot is not owned by one corporation. It's owned by one corporation, but HEB rents this whole park lot. Not a lot of HEB don't own no store. They rent the store. It's like Walmart. Most Walmart, they rent their property. They don't own their property. Too much liability to own a property in Texas. But remember, we're talking about there's a difference between owning a property and renting from a property. Say if I own an apartment complex and I want a person to leave, then yes, I could ban them from the whole park lot. Say if I own this whole park lot, yes, I could actually ban a person I don't like from this whole park lot. These are multiple businesses sharing a park lot. That's the difference, okay? Now, if HEB owned this whole park lot, yes, they could trespass me from the whole park lot. There's a difference between store and the park lot. Remember that. Or remains on the property. Okay, HEB don't own this park lot at all. You gotta understand that, okay, people? There's a difference between renting a park lot and owning something. Renting and owning something's two different things. Say if I rent a car and I don't my car rent is up, can they take the car from me? Yeah, because I'm not renting the car anymore. Same thing as if you rent HEB renters, they don't own the park lot. You gotta understand the difference between renting something and owning something now, okay? If I rent one of those rug things, I'm not allowed to keep it because it's not my property. I'm not allowed to use it and return it when I'm supposed to return it. Anyways, you guys really gotta look up this law much more better and realize the difference between a private business open up to the public and park lots that are actually not owned by the business. The difference between a private business owning a private park lot. Catch you guys later. Bye.